Modern society is structured to keep the solar principle, the conscious ego, the masculine drive to name, order, and achieve, in a state of chronic separation from the deeper living current. The cut is maintained deliberately. As long as the two remain divided, a low-grade anxiety persists at the root of the personality. That anxiety is rarely experienced as fear. It appears instead as the endless sense that something essential is still missing. The missing part is sought outside through more work, higher status, further credentials, greater income, new indulgences, the next acquisition, the next goal. Nothing satisfies for long because the hunger is not for the object. The object is only a temporary proxy for the unhealed separation. The system reinforces this by ensuring there is always another bill, another upgrade, another standard that must be met. The underlying message is simple and relentless. If you stop, you will fall behind, become irrelevant, or die. The will stays under permanent pressure. In alchemical terms, this is the condition of the unreconciled king and queen. The solar light remains outside the vessel, circling, analyzing, conquering, but never fully descending into the lunar waters of body, feeling, and the living subconscious matrix. The opus cannot proceed. The substance stays in a state of restless fixity, active, intelligent, productive, yet barren of true gold. The man becomes a refined engine of effort. His passion is real in intensity, but it is the intensity of an unresolved wound trying to close itself through outer means. When the separation is not healed, the energy eventually turns. Resentment appears, bitterness, withholding, a coldness that feeds denser currents in the field. Judgment and quiet superiority arise as secondary defenses. The atmosphere around such a person often carries a subtle heaviness, even when the surface remains composed and articulate. Circular intellectual chatter multiplies. More maps, more systems, more explanations, because the map has become a substitute for entering the territory. The integrated state is different in kind. When the conscious light and the deeper current enter real relationship, the desperate quality leaves the work. Ambition does not vanish, but it loses the anxious edge that once drove it. The need to solve the world as a way of solving oneself diminishes. An integrated person does not constantly scan reality for what is wrong and must be fixed. The compulsion to save, correct, or redeem everything softens because the inner civil war has quieted. Presence becomes more available than performance. Speech grows simpler. The body is inhabited. Simple aliveness is enjoyable without needing a grand narrative to justify it. Yet, the solution is not the opposite error now widely promoted in spiritual communities. The wholehearted immersion into egoless feeling, the dissolution of the masculine principle into pure lunar current. Many teachers, especially certain female voices in the spiritual marketplace, encourage a soft collapse into emotion, sensation, and, quote, being with what is, unquote, as if clarity, structure, discrimination, and even clean aggression were themselves the problem. Nature is romanticized as the final authority. Melting into the world, losing the self in feeling, and dissolving the ego are presented as the highest good. This is not integration, it is regression. Nature without the light is death. Matter without spirit remains blind, cyclic, and ultimately devouring. The lunar waters, left without the solar principle, do not produce gold. They produce formlessness, passivity, and a pleasant anesthesia that keeps the soul asleep. We are not made safe by abandoning the masculine light. The conscious ego, rightly ordered, is not the enemy of the deeper current. It is the necessary vessel and the active agent through which the deeper current becomes articulate, protected, and fruitful in the world. True conjunctio does not extinguish the king so that the queen may reign alone. The solar principle descends, impregnates, and remains present. Clarity is not sacrificed for feeling. Structure is not abandoned for flow. The light continues to shine within the waters. Only then does the anxiety that once fueled endless seeking begin to dissolve. What remains is cleaner movement, creation, work, love, arising from a quieter center rather than from the need to fill an absence. The man is no longer primarily a seeker of his missing part. He has begun to move in participation with the deeper current that already knows, while the light of discrimination and order stays awake.